Hello and welcome to this episode of Ring Takes here. I'm Daniel, joined by Brian and Lewis. We were supposed to have John on, but he's missing in action. But we do have a new guest on the show here, Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the show. A guy that we went to school with, a good friend of ours. Um, Welcome to the show. Big wrestling fan. Recently saw you. What was that? Blood and Guts. Was it that time
Uh,
in Boston?
No, that's
Um,
SmackDown,
I
wasn't
think
it?
that was a SmackDown.
It
Yeah.
was the SmackDown. Okay, it was the SmackDown. Yeah, so we're getting into that. Welcome to the show. You've been meaning to come on for a little bit now, and I finally remembered. Hey, let's get Ryan on.
I remembered.
Get Ryan on. After Brian and Lewis reminded me after like 90 times to get you on. So finally, you are here. Thank you for joining us, man. And of course, a couple questions I always ask when we have new people on. How did you get into professional wrestling, and who is your favorite wrestler, past, current, present, whenever? Go.
Okay. So I got back. Obviously I was into it as a kid. Attitude Era, of course, will always be the goat to me. Then I was out of it for a while, but I got back into it. As I was saying, I'm a big Pat guy before. Pat McAfee, when he was having his NXT run, is when I got back into it just to follow him. Then he got into the commentating, so I was like, oh, let me go check this out. And then I started just watching the show again.
Yeah.
And that's how I got back into it.
Mhm.
Favorite wrestler? I mean, this guy right here.
Wow.
Hitman, yeah.
He's
Bret
up
Hart.
there.
Yeah, we haven't had a Hitman fan in a while.
He's up there. Well, I mean,
Bret Hart, man. Obviously,
funny,
the
coincidence,
excellence
I
of
got-
execution.
I got this hoodie because I seen CM Punk wearing it.
Lucky John wasn't on, right? For my
I'm not,
sake,
all right,
lucky-
I'm not even like a CM Punk guy by any means, but I was like,
Mhm.
that is a nice hoodie.
Yes, he definitely was. That was the what was that? Was it NXT?
I think it's when he was on
visited?
NXT. Yeah.
Yeah, he visited.
Yeah, it was
the
on
Underground
NXT. Like
in
right
the
after he
town.
came back, yeah.
I have the
Yeah.
shirt too. I have the shirt too.
Yeah. Like, Bret Hart, obviously one of the best, kind of the evolution of the technical wrestler at that point. New generation, all that stuff from the '90s. Obviously, one of the best ever. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. To some, right? just don't mention Bill Goldberg next to Bret Hart or anything like that, and everything should be fine, right? No, but this will be episode 74. Obviously, I wanted to do something a little different from the week to week recap. The state of professional wrestling. We got four guys here. We have two completely different mindsets and focuses. So I wanted to kind of touch on the state of professional wrestling. But before that, we will recap Monday Night Raw. So we will do that quickly. Let's get into Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest getting their hands on Judgment Day. In particular, Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. What do you guys make of that happening on Raw this past week? Getting physical and Dominic Mysterio giving his reasoning behind betraying Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest.
All right, well, at least storyline wise, it made complete sense.
Mhm.
You know, I think Dom had said in the promo, and I'm thinking about it because it's so hilarious that like Liv gives him tendies. You know, which is actually a thing because I think like I mentioned it was either Priest or Rhea in like a podcast. I mentioned that like everywhere they go when they were together that all Dominic orders is chicken tenders. So I thought that was a little funny, but storyline wise, you know, it made complete sense. You know, she calls me daddy, and I'm a grown ass man calling a grown woman mommy. So storyline wise, it made sense. When Priest came out after, I think I saw a meme on social media that compared it to like AJ Styles and The Undertaker when they had their Boneyard match and Undertaker was standing behind AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was hilarious. The only thing that I'm not a huge fan of this is the fact that I think we just mentioned it, how they're calling Rhea and Damian the Terror Twins, which I don't like the name. I mean, I don't like the name. I mean, they're gonna have this tag team match coming up at Bash in Berlin, which honestly on paper looks like it should be a squash tag team match. on paper, but it's gonna be a competitive. This whole story of the breakup of the Judgment Day and now the downgrade of the Judgment Day because you take away the two strongest members and now they're trying to repackage it as if it's like they're supposed to be more lethal now, but in actuality they actually downgraded. But
I mean, they lost the two biggest members of their group, size
the
wise, height wise.
Yep, they have no, they literally have
members
no
that started the
big
group.
man,
Yeah, started the group. Yeah, but it's gonna be a very entertaining match at Bash of Berlin, though.
Yeah, that's
Louis, you want to go next?
Yeah, the segment was cool. It was funny, seeing Damian pop out, and, Rhea talking all her crap, and like it was fun. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the mixed tag matches. I think they're a lot of times very predictable on who's gonna win. Obviously, for this, I think it's gonna show Damian and Rhea as dominant, but Judgment Day is gonna come out and screw them, and it's just gonna continue. It's not gonna be a one and done. But they're getting their hits back. I like the backstage brawl. That was really good. It's funny because Rhea and Damian look like a perfect tag team. So it's like them just going against Judgment Day like works out great because they're obviously, like we just said, they're the two strongest, and now they're just trying to take out all of them. So it's just a game type thing. So who knows? Maybe they'll create their own faction and bring more people in. Who knows? I don't know where they're really going with all this. Besides Rhea and Liv going after against each other for the title, it's like, is it just Damian trying to get his hands on Finn and like that's it? I don't know. I'm just trying to see like where this is gonna build into a bigger story, I guess.
Mm-hmm. At some point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, I don't know. It was good for continuing the story. I thought it was pretty weird how like they came out, had the brawl, everybody dispersed, then came back out and brawled again. I was like, okay, guess we're doing that. Yeah, it was good for continuing the story. It's gonna build up, obviously, Liv and Rhea, and then Damian and Finn. But like Brian was saying, you can't take this new Judgment Day serious. Like they got Finn. That's it.
Carlito's pretty big now.
That's what I feel too, because we like all the members of the group, right? With like Carlito and his comedy relief in the group has been a nice addition.
Oh, it was so needed.
Yeah. They needed something to change it up, especially after the R-Truth debacle, with how that whole storyline went. But in terms of JD McDonough, who's a good hand in the ring, really hasn't had his own personality. He's kind of just mini Finn in that sense. And then you got Finn Balor, who's been world champion, has been elite, has had the work rate. Pretty much the only credible person in that group that you'll take seriously at this point in time. Like Liv Morgan being added to the group for Rhea Ripley, it's like that doesn't really work. I kind of would have liked for Dom and Liv to go their own separate route in a sense and do their own thing. But it looks like this is going to be happening. It's an intergender tag team match at Bash in Berlin out of nowhere. But it's happening. And of course, we're going to see Dominic Mysterio play up the chicken nuggets and tendies, and he gets to stay up and play video games all he wants. They're playing this angle with Dominic Mysterio. And of course, I've liked Dominic Mysterio over the past year with his work rate and just him growing as a character. And I thought this was going to be another step in his evolution. But we shall see, man. We shall see.
And growing the stash, too.
And that glorious mullet.
Literally
I
at
so
Raw,
bad
everybody
they
was
did the
saying,
custody
shave
of
his
Dominic
mustache.
match.
Shave his mustache. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be played into a little bit as well.
It's just so funny how he looks like a young Eddie.
He's Eddie.
He's Eddie. This generation's Eddie.
I don't care what Ray said. That is Eddie.
Like he's Eddie, man. That's all right, man. But let's keep moving on here to the main event. Actually, I wanted to get into this. Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn put on a classic 2 out of 3 falls match. Very hard hitting affair, kind of putting a stamp, I feel like, on this rivalry, right? Like Sami Zayn has no reason to go back after the Intercontinental Championship a third time, in my opinion. But what are your guys' thoughts on this match to end the night on Raw?
All right, Louis, you can go first on this one.
So I only got like the highlights. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole match, but like we were talking a little bit before, just like it's kind of like an obvious ending. But Braun Breaker, is killing it as champ. Obviously, I like what they're doing with highlighting all these new guys that are coming in, and he's definitely one that's like, he's just getting more star power, and giving him a 2 out of 3 falls just highlights more of what he can do in the ring. How fast, strong, what is the motto you got, Brian? Mobile, agile,
hostile.
Literally, like that's. I love his intensity. I love when I first saw him in NXT, and now that he's like, thriving on the main roster, I'm really interested to see how long he's actually going to hold the title. Is it going to be like a full year? I think he would definitely be one to. You could catapult into the title scene pretty soon, especially against him versus like Gunther would be a great matchup. He's a great.
Very few people that have pinned him.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So and as far as Sammy goes, I feel like not like his time has passed, but like I think we've all obviously wanted Sammy to like win the big one, and I don't know if he'll ever get to that point again, or if he's just going to stay in the mid card, but we'll see where he goes from this.
So I also agree with Lewis. Obviously, Braun Breaker is a beast. I mean, I don't need to repeat this week my mantra for him. But one thing that I loved was before he came out when they do that little that little promo beforehand when they're walking to the ring, and how he pretty much was saying, some people, when a lot of people do this, they talk about how great they are. I'm a man of a few words. And he really made it his own. And I love how he gave the that little shout out to Pat McAfee. Like, are there any dogs in the house? Which goes to show that eventually, when there is potential for him to turn babyface down the line. Obviously not right now, but if he eventually does turn, there's potential.
I mean, the crowd is treating him like a babyface.
That's what he's teetering. He's right on the line.
Yeah, he's like right there.
That if he wanted.
Yeah, no, because I remember when he was in NXT 2.0, that shitty time in NXT when they tried to book him as a babyface. I mean, he just came off very corny, and like they really tried to tie in his father in the storyline once, which came off kind of clunky. So if they're gonna have him continue to be this badass and present him this way, then when he becomes a babyface, he's gonna be like one of the most over guys. Especially if the plan moving forward is for him to be the face of Monday Night Raw when they move to Netflix. But as far as the match goes, it was a great match. It was a great match. It was very, very hard hitting. I think Ryan had mentioned the spot where Braun threw Sami Zayn into the over the announce table into the timekeepers area, which literally looked like he like lawn darted him like he like it was like a competition or something. Loved the finish, even though it was kind of predictable in the end. As soon as he went to the top rope, we kind of knew like, yeah, he's gonna get caught. But it still was an entertaining match, and I'm actually looking forward to see like what's next for Braun Breaker, because I don't know if there are too many. I don't really know like the whole babyface hierarchy off the top of my head on Monday Night Raw, but I'm very curious to see like who he can match up with next.
Strap that rocket to his back. Keep sending him up. Braun Breaker. Yeah, that match was just a good stamp on that little feud with Sammy. Sammy can go off and do his thing with Jay now. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's next for him. But for the love of God, can we let him use the Steiner name? Can he just be Braun Steiner? Please.
I'm with you on that, because
why not?
I don't think he wants to use the name.
Yeah, I saw him talk about it. He said that his own thing.
But it's like, it's so perfect. Just use it.
It's exactly like his uncle's.
It has so much great lineage behind it with Rick and Scott. So it's like, just use it. Just use it. And the one critique I have, bring back the sirens in his music, please. That's the only thing I know. The sirens are so cool when he's there. Like, just
and the chainmetal.
It's so badass. I know it shades to Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, but it's like, bring it back. It's so cool. Bring that back. And I know they're doing this whole thing with this new music in WWE, but don't change the stuff that's already good. Just leave it.
Yeah, they're trying too much with the music.
Yeah,
music has not been good in a while.
AJ Styles, Carlito, like just leave
Daniel, I think you need to give AJ Styles his new theme a second chance. It's not that bad.
It's not happening.
No, his original
hit
song
like the
is so
last
good.
one.
Like that's what he came in WWE with back in 2016. It doesn't need to go anywhere. Just keep using it. It works phenomenal. It's phenomenal. All right. We don't need a rock version of that.
The day they change Randy's music, that's when we all right.
Oh no, we're
No. The good people of France have made it official that they're not going to change that song anytime soon.
No, not anytime soon, man. Let's keep moving on here. Speaking of Randy Orton and Gunther face off, and apparently Randy Orton's just on Raw now, out of nowhere, right? Because of this title match that he has with Gunther coming up at the Bash in Berlin, of course, extending their match feud from King of the Ring, where Randy Orton's shoulder was up. Continuing this, what do you guys make of this face off between Randy Orton and Gunther, and of course the calling out of Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, alluding to a match with Drew McIntyre?
Well, actually, Ron, you want to take this one first, since me and Lewis went first the last two?
Yeah. I get it, but like, I think it's just like time filling because Drew and CM Punk are busy. You could have did the whole rematch with Damian Priest, but he's got his own thing going on with Judgment Day now. So, oh yeah, we had that thing with Randy Orton we can bring back up. Okay, I get it. But the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre thing can go on forever, and I'll just keep loving it. It's so incredible. Never stop it.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, like I said, they've been going at it since January, so you might as well just keep it going and make it a full.
And it's must-watch TV every single time they're at.
You know, it's definitely going to go till Bad Blood because that's like written in the freaking name, like the feud.
Yeah, and I think they alluded to on Raw because Punk, whipped Drew with the belt that they might go strap match.
Yeah.
In Berlin.
And I'm like, it just brings back to him and MJF in AEW with the dog collar match.
Oh yeah,
with the King. So I'm like, it's all full circle for CM Punk. But now, as I said, Randy and Gunther, a match on paper that should be a banger, right? Like those two guys, especially. With Randy bringing up that he's a legend killer and everything like that, and Gunther has been bringing this prestige back to the title that he's been on with this ring general, and his Intercontinental title reign is just like, that's going to be a great match. It's something that I do feel like it needs to be finished up. Would I have preferred Damian Priest and Gunther rematch? Of course. But of course, with all the branching storylines from that match and from SummerSlam, it makes sense that Randy Orton's in this spot. As for Gunther and Drew, CM Punk and Drew, a strap match between those two, just out of nowhere, it's a stipulation, right? Like, how did we escalate to a strap match, right? Like, no, but it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that storyline. Obviously, it's going to be a strap match because why else would CM Punk bring out a belt? Trying to get back. Trying to get back his family bracelet, and the principle behind it, which I guess is a good storyline. But him and Drew have been going at it so long that it's like, just keep going. We'll take anything as long as we're getting more CM Punk in the ring. That's the one thing that we always want to get because we waited so long for him to get back from that injury from the Royal Rumble. So to finally have him in the ring is good to see, and especially that match at SummerSlam. Was good. But I also want to talk about, obviously, another guy that's making an impact on Raw that took out Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Lewis's guy that Lewis has been championing for a year now to give Bronson Reed the opportunity, even when he was all the way back in NXT. Bronson Reed basically taking out what you want to say, the veterans of Raw, Seth Rollins last week, and that
is he the new legend killer?
That whole new promo with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, and that whole promo, and WWE does some of its best work with that stuff there, showing the impact of Bronson Reed going with that. But recently just battled with Adam Pearce, and of course, everyone's kind of saying with Adam Pearce, like, why are you just getting this guy steamroll you? You're the general manager, do something. But he's taken out The Miz, he's taken out Seth Rollins, he squashed R-Truth thousands of times on Raw, so kind of repeating that. But what do you guys make of Bronson Reed and where this can potentially go?
Well, there's only one place to start. Go ahead, Lewis.
Finally. I don't know. It's just crazy. I feel like it's crazy because I feel like this kind of came out of nowhere. Because what was he? He was feuding with was it like Sheamus and
yeah, he was in the middle of that whole Sheamus and Butch thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
well,
it was
Pete Dunne. We don't need to say Butch again. Pete Dunne. My bad.
exactly. It just alluded like he was just gonna be in some other random like feud, and I don't know where they just finally. It's like they pulled the trigger, and I was like, "This guy is massive. He's strong. That his finisher is amazing. Like, how are we not doing more with him?" And they finally did it. And the fact that they literally just can't stop him off the top rope. I don't know why nobody's just like, let me just stand in front of him. Maybe he'll not jump on me or a ref or something. But the fact that he's just like literally just squashing people. So I'm really curious to see who his actual like first, because he's literally took out Seth, who was like coughing up blood, which was a nice touch unless that was real. But and then does the same thing to Miz and R-Truth, is like, who's he actually gonna go against, or is he just gonna get like one of these guys and just squash the hell out of them? But this is how you build stars, and this is how they got to do it. At least with him and his size and his strength, it's just like you have it all there, So
that man needs to be in jail for what he did to R-Truth. R-Truth is a national treasure.
I know, I'm an R-Truth guy.
Does not need to be harmed like that. It's not right.
Oh man. It's just funny because it's like no one rolls out the way, no one moves the person, they just leave the person there to just get squashed 20 times.
Hey, they did pull R-Truth a little bit back, so he couldn't reach him.
They moved him to the other side of the ring.
Yeah.
I'm in this corner.
We got better lighting over here.
I will say this. I will say this much about the attack on Seth Rollins. Michael Cole sold it so well especially when he went up for like number 4, 5, and 6, just like yelling at all the police, like, why are you guys not stopping him? Why get somebody out here? Like, it really added to like how it really added to the moment, and really showing how dominant, like destructive this guy is. And it did kind of come out of left field because he was in the middle of feuding with Sheamus, but it was needed because we needed, because outside of on Raw, outside of the Judgment Day and Gunther, I mean, who else really was getting like featured consistently weekly? It was time for them to elevate somebody, and it's about time, because we've been sitting around waiting for Bronson Reed to show up for the longest time, or waiting for them to give him an opportunity. And like this is the most Bronson Reed has done since he won the NXT. As far as like relevance goes, so glad he's finally getting an opportunity. I'm interested. Honestly, I think he should go after Randy next because it makes sense. Call himself the new Legend Killer.
That would be an interesting storyline.
It's just interesting because we thought he was going to be on that Intercontinental title path when he was brawling with Chad Gable and Gunther. He had that great match with Gunther, going back and forth with that. And it's just like, what is this guy doing? Is he just in the holding pattern until either Gunther dropped the IC title at that point in time? But it's like, now it's gone. It's been on Sammy for a while. Is he going to be in a match soon with Braun Breaker? I don't see them doing that because that's heel versus heel at this point in time. But that's something I would definitely want to see. But it's just good to see something happening with Bronson Reed at this point in time, because it's like his size, he moves well in the ring, he's a good wrestler, and it's like, nah, man, you got to do something with this guy. And it finally looks like they're going to push the button to push him to the moon, apparently. So good stuff for him. I can't wait to see what's going on and see how this continues weekly. It looks like he's just going to continue to take out veterans at this point in time until he gets a credible opponent. So can't wait to see what happens with that. Let's continue moving on here. We got Odyssey Jones potentially joining the New Day, right? Odyssey Jones has kind of come out and helped Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston against the Final Testament. So, what do you guys think about that and this whole play of Xavier Woods kind of being hesitant to accept Odyssey Jones?
Well, to me, this story was all just based upon like, okay, is Big E done for good or not? Now he said in interviews that like he's kind of letting his neck heal naturally, and he doesn't know if he's ever going to wrestle again or not. I mean, I wonder if they're at the point right now where it's just like, okay, he's never coming back. Let's just move. He's never coming back. Let's just move on. But I like the fact that they're finally telling the story with the New Day, because no, they've been together for what? Has it been over a decade? Probably the one group where it's like they're together for this long, and they're still as over as they were when they first came together. They're still getting the New Day Rocks chants every time they came out. Honestly, their act is just like a part of the WWE universe now, where it's like, when people see them, it's just always gonna be that babyface reaction. So I like the fact that they're finally gonna cause a rift with having Odyssey Jones in. First of all, I thought Odyssey Jones was initially released. I didn't even know he was still signed with the company because I remember he had gotten drafted like last year, and then you never heard from him again. So I will say this much: that Impact, picking up both Akam and Razor in both arms is, I mean, the site itself is impressive. Only thing I didn't like about this is the fact that it had to be AOP. Because obviously when I think of them, I think of them being booked strong and not being booked in a scenario where they're getting manhandled. But aside from that, love how they're finally telling this story of possibly the New Day breaking up. Or it might not even be a breakup. It could just be the fact that Xavier Woods is thinking, yeah, you added him to the group, but you didn't really like ask for my input. I mean, Kofi kind of just brought him out of nowhere without doesn't even seem like he even talked to Woods about it. And like Big E is their brother, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny though because like with the whole Karrion Kross thing, it's like they've been throwing all these breadcrumbs of like, hey, look, Kofi only cares about himself. You need to go out and do your own thing. And like from the beginning, you're like, this isn't really going anywhere. But then you slowly start seeing the things like, oh, Kofi's out here making matches and just throwing himself. Oh no, I'm gonna wrestle tonight. You stay out. And he's like, you see him getting like frustrated, and now seeing him bringing other people into the New Day without even talking to him. It's just like, so what does that mean? Is just Xavier gonna leave the New Day? If he joins New Testament, I think that's gonna be kind of dumb. But is he finally just gonna be on his own? What does it mean? Is it over for the New Day after this, or is it just is Kofi they gonna start their own new group, like rebrand the New Day? So there's a lot of ways of thinking about it, but I'm really curious to see when they're actually gonna pull the trigger, or if they're even gonna go that route. But if they do, I think it would still make a big impact because, like I said, like we've said, they've been together for so long that to actually see it happen is going to be kind of crazy.
We're finally going to see the Final Testament with a feud.
Please, I'm actually a huge fan of AOP too.
I'm a big Karrion Kross deserves they just got to use him right, and I think he'd be a big star. But I'm interested to see how they swing this New Day story, because it was very clear that Xavier was disgruntled on Monday. So are they going to do a heel turn? Are they going to work it out? What do you do with Xavier? He's not going to. You can't. Do you put him in the Final Testament? Does he go on a singles run? I don't. Then what happens with Kofi and Odyssey? They do the tag team now. I don't know. I want to see what happens. I'm intrigued by it. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely tea leaves, because the New Day have been together since SummerSlam was in Brooklyn, like 2012 or so.
But it's been a minute. Yeah,
it's been like 12 years. So so that's been a very, very long time. So to see Xavier Woods, who we've all thought could have had a potential, single run. We all remember that King of the Ring run he had. Him being in the mid card is something that will be good for him. We saw Kofi Kingston's a Hall of Famer. He's done everything. If he tags with a new young comer, Odyssey Jones, I'm not against that. But Xavier Woods has been a guy that we kind of always wanted to see be on his own, kind of do something else. So if this is the end of the New Day or a pause on the New Day to set up the reformation down the line, I'm with that. I'm fine with that. But Xavier Woods is definitely given I'm not comfortable with this vibes, and I think it's part of it. Either they're going to either break it up where he's like, yo, you guys have been taking advantage of me. I don't really have a say. I've always been like the charming guy in the back of the background of the New Day and stuff like that. But this could be something that, hey, this guy's not Big E. That's the original 3 that we've had here, and I don't want to break that up. So that could be another angle. You know, you replace him with another big athletic black guy like Big E. So it's like I can see where he's like, yo, I don't like this change and stuff like that. So I'm definitely interested to see where it goes, man. But Xavier Woods always watching up, down, down. So we'll see what happens with that, man. But definitely interested. I don't even know if I should touch on this next subject here, but Pure Fusion Collective. And I know I said, I'm going to start this off because I know I said last week that I thought this had more leg room depending on how it was booked more than the Wyatt 6, because I'm like, the Wyatt 6 is just basically.
Don't say it, bro. Don't say it. No, because I'm still trying to get over the fact that you made that fucking comment and compared the Wyatt 6 to that group. Because that was so disrespectful.
I was saying in the women's division right now, because we didn't know what Damage Control was doing. Asuka's on the back burner. KC2's kind of in the mix a little bit, but I'm like, this collective talent where Sonya Deville can be the talking point, the voice of this group. I thought it can be something. That's what I initially said. I thought this could be something. And to sit there and get the name Pure Fusion Collective, I can't take back what I said, but I am regretting what I said.
Is it that's why you listen to What's the Reason? What did I say from the very beginning? From the very beginning, this group is not going anywhere.
Yeah, you shitted on them the moment they came together. Yeah,
they're just not. Honestly, they would all be better off on their own. All these female factions, they're just not all of them are going to hit. And Shayna Baszler has been a part of like 6-7 tag teams, and like it's all the same. It's all the same. And I'm like, another faction. I'm like, they're not going to go anywhere. They'll probably win the titles at some point, but it's not going to be impactful. You know, if they really wanted to, they would have had them just literally take everybody out and just go forward. But off rip, they're already losing. Damage Control beat them with with one person down.
That's what. Yeah, Damage Control only has 2 people right now.
And they still beat them in matches, so it's like,
I
don't know.
Time has passed.
This is complete. This is ridiculous, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago when I finally gave up on the group, because it's like, you know, you come together, you know, you take out the Damage Control, which was the top group on Raw. And you would have thought that was going to be the beginning of something, the beginning of them showing dominance and showing that they're a threat to all the women on the roster. But then within a matter of 2 weeks, one of their members loses a one-on-one match. So it's like, so how are we supposed to be taking them seriously? How are they supposed to be a threat? Now when Damage Control came back, now the thought is, okay, well, if they already lost, I mean, do we really think that Damage Control is gonna lose against them? And now Damage Control goes down one member, like you guys just said, and now Pure Fusion Collective still can't win. So it's like, Daniel, we put too much hope on this. We should have just we shouldn't have even mentioned it. We should have just let it play out and then had our opinions.
Because I can't forget the past, right? Because Shayna Baszler, that 2-year run as NXT Women's Champion, I can't forget that. And I always hope that there's something there, and there isn't. It's done.
Time has passed.
And you want to know what they should do with this group? They should send them to NXT. That's what they should do.
That's where they belong.
Yeah.
Where they restart stars or send them to NXT, man. But, I'm just
NXT has too much going on right now, bro. There's like this with TNA, and then they got their athletes that they're training, and then they got the other people that they bring in. Like they got too much kinds of talent down at NXT. Like
as long as you don't say As long as you say NXT doesn't need to be 3 hours or anything like that. There's enough wrestling during the week.
I can't keep up.
Can't keep up with it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they thought about doing that though.
But with that being said, let's continue to move on here. I wanted to take a moment here because we always do the recaps and stuff like that. But I wanted to get a pulse of what we're all thinking collectively in the state of wrestling, right? Especially with all the presidential campaigns going on. I feel like we need to take a state of the professional wrestling of right now, in this climate right now. And a couple questions I wanted to ask, and to start it off is, who is the face of professional wrestling right now, or the driving force of professional wrestling right now, would you say?
It's definitely WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And the face.
So it's not AEW, is what you're saying? No one from AEW can. So you're not.
They are contributing, but they are not the driving force.
Yeah, we'll say.
I'm not going to shit on them and say they're not doing good stuff. It's obviously the alternative, which is fine. But they got their good and bad as well. So does WWE. But obviously, the bigger promotion has been more established and is now more internationally involved. It's definitely WWE. Mm-hmm. In recent time, how many PLEs have we seen literally in every other country? Each one,
international tour.
Yeah, and just like the big faces that we got, we got Cody, Roman, Gunther, so many huge name stars that are just like crossing over other platforms, and everybody's watching now, so
mm-hmm. Definitely WWE is the driving force right now, the face. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got one of the creators of AEW left and came over.
They did, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's the state of wrestling in general at the moment is great. There's great wrestling everywhere. There's like every other day you can. I don't personally watch AEW, but I watch the highlights and stuff, and I know it's great wrestling. You got TNA, you got NXT. Is so much great wrestling everywhere. It's storylines and matches. It's just great right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all can agree that WWE will always be the driving force of professional wrestling, unless somehow in the next decade, Tony Khan gets his head out of his ass and actually hires wrestling people to actually help him. Right?
They have wrestling people. They have
I mean actual wrestling people. As far as like so he can actually give out duties and responsibilities to people. That way he doesn't have to be like responsible for so much. Like if he could actually had like an actual creative team of creative minds that actually come up with some of these stories and such, then they probably would be a lot further along. Mm-hmm. As far as the state of professional wrestling, this is probably the healthiest the industry has been in a long time. I mean, when we always talk about that time period from WCW closed up their doors in 2001, and then AEW started their company in 2019. So there was like that 18-year time period where WWE was just dominating everything, and because of that, sometimes their storytelling ended up faltering because of that. It was almost like there's no other like real other wrestling competition, so it's just like they pretty much were just booking whatever Vince thought was funny, whatever Vince felt was entertaining to him. Mm-hmm. And even though TNA did exist during that time, they never were considered a threat per se to WWE. Even when Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff came in,
I was going to ask you about that.
There was no. I mean, they didn't have the infrastructure. I mean, they tried to compete with WWE on Monday night, and they and it didn't work out well for them. But this is definitely the healthiest the industry has been. I mean, you can literally look at the weekly schedule, the days of the week, and there's like wrestling on every day. I mean, Raw Monday night, NXT Tuesday, AEW Wednesday, and then you got TNA and Ring of Honor on Thursday, and then SmackDown Friday. And then you got all these options for wrestling, and then you got other shows like New Japan, and then you got GCW, you got Rev Pro. It's like there's so much wrestling content that's out there right now. I mean, we always talk about how we can barely keep up with it. So definitely the wrestling industry is in a good spot, in a good place now.
Yeah, and I was kind of throwing this as a toss up because I thought, of course, WWE is the driving force, but the face of it, I want to say it's Triple H, right? Like he's the
Yeah.
guy that's been taking over WWE since 2022. There was that whole looming of Vince coming back and stuff like that, and we got past that, right? And I feel like Triple H has been
And
the guy with the
you could
greatest.
clearly tell when Vince was running the show again when he was
Yeah.
things drastically changed. You could tell he was back in charge.
Yeah, and it's just funny because it's like this is the first time probably in our lifetime, 30 years. I'm 33. This is the first time we don't have a Vince. We don't have a Hulk Hogan. We don't have an Eric Bischoff. We don't have Vince Russo. All these guys that have been staples of wrestling in our lives are not in control of it, right? So this is really a new era of that. Even with Tony Khan over there, even though he's kind of secretly talking to Shane McMahon, whatever is going to come of that, in terms of what wrestling is today, in terms of it's a new world, honestly. Like we don't know.
Or a new day.
Pun
intended. Yeah.
Need the new day to just pop in on the screen that right now. No, but just seriously, like I was just thinking about that when I was putting this together. I'm like, this is the first era in time of wrestling where we really don't have Vince McMahon, like at all, like no involvement, like completely erased from the company, right? Like, and I recently just saw something about I think Linda McMahon said something about Vince's health isn't
Yeah, I saw that today
best right
too.
now.
Yeah, it's typical because he's in a legal battle. That's what he does, right? He's gonna show up with a neck brace next.
But it's just crazy, right? Like just to see all this stuff, and it's just like we really don't have Vince here, who has been probably the driving force behind WWF, WWE, whatever the case may be. But it's like we're not here, and it's like Triple H has been this guy that we saw what he did with NXT Black and Gold, and that whole
amazing
revolution of NXT stars and development, and what WWE is today, full of indie stars, giving guys a chance. The performance center in terms of getting athletes in and training and stuff like that. So this whole development of Triple H has been started from since NXT, and now we're seeing it on the main roster. We're getting better PLEs, we're getting longer matches, people are getting more time, and you see like there's a more development in terms of WWE. Of course, with AEW and stuff like that, they're trying to figure it out, but I like the stuff that they're doing there in terms of Swerve Strickland, his ascent. They're trying to get all the other younger stars, international stars coming over from New Japan, like Will Ospreay and Okada. So just a blend of all that stuff. But it's just like I feel like Triple H, we've seen the development in the building blocks from NXT, and a lot of those guys are on the main roster right now, right, with his development and his proven. So to continue that is just I feel like Triple H is the driving force of it because with what he's doing as the head guy, getting people in. Just the development that he's doing right now in terms of WWE, and we all watch it week to week, how much fandom we have. Kudos to him. And I feel like he's the driving force right now, especially with WWE, of course. But Triple H, I just want to give a nod to him for that. Let's continue moving on here. Who's our favorite wrestlers at this moment? At this moment.
Say his name. Say his name.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, nobody say it. He'll appear.
We believe though.
Oh, yeah. I'm all aboard the Joe Hendry train right now.
Oh.
Man,
I was just saying I might go see him Friday night at Kowloon. He's doing an appearance.
Kowloon.
Joe Hendry, yeah.
I get the singing. I'll go first with our favorite wrestler. My favorite wrestler. Obviously, my favorite wrestler right now is Roman Reigns, but seeing that he's been out since WrestleMania, a guy I've been enjoying is probably Braun Breaker, and just seeing his ascent. I still remember the match he had with Carmelo Hayes, and when Carmelo Hayes springboard off the ropes and he caught him in the spear, probably the best spear I've ever seen. Like he's been a monster, tearing it up, and now he's the Intercontinental Champion. And seeing what he's doing here, I like what Braun Breaker's doing at this moment.
I'm gonna go the other route. I'm actually gonna go Swerve. Swerve is actually it's just crazy. I think from him seeing him starting in NXT to working his way up the ladder in AEW, and especially that what was it, Texas Death Match with what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name?
Hangman.
And I thought that match was brutal but amazing at the same time, and for him to become the first Black AEW champion, I think was like, a big stamp and just like, what somebody might see in one company, can be a champion in the next. So I definitely like what he's doing.
Well, I have a couple of favorites. One of them, someone who hasn't been featured lately, but obviously I've always been an AJ Styles guy. The fact that no matter who he's matched up with, you're guaranteed to get a great match. Another guy, I'm also going to go in the AEW direction. Obviously, their top guy, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, who, in my opinion, outside of Roman Reigns during his tribal chief days, he's the best heel in professional wrestling. Because there's not a lot of people like when MJF comes out and he's gonna cut a promo. I mean the interest and intrigue it is there. I mean the promos that he cuts, some of how far he goes when he was a heel, to how funny he was even when he was during his babyface run.
I'm just gonna say this: a little girl was punching him when he was in the stands. That's all I'm gonna say. A little girl.
I remember where an AEW had filmed like a little parody promo similar to and Ryan, you're wearing his hoodie right now. Bret Hart when they kind of did like a similar thing with MJF, and how like Bret Hart kind of gives the kids his glasses. I think MJF whispered in the kid's ear that he was adopted, which I thought. It's just like little things like that aren't supposed to be funny, but when MJF does it, they're just pure hilarious. So he's definitely another one of my guys. Another guy I'm actually gonna save because he's actually one of the guys that's gonna be up and coming in the future. So I'm gonna save my next guy.
So are you really going with Joe Hendry, Ryan?
No, I mean Cody's my guy. Cody will always be my guy. But we were talking about this before, I was all hoorah, finish the story. But I mean, I'm ready for him to move on from the title. But Cody will be my guy. I'm very intrigued by Jacob Fatu. I want to see where he goes. I think he's going to be a huge star.
Umaga 2.0. I've been saying it.
Yeah. Daniel, I wanted to tell you because I spoke to my older brother and his best friends. They hyped up Jacob Fatu over Solo Sikoa. They're actually asking the question why Jacob Fatu is not featured as the face of this group and not Solo Sikoa at this point. Because I'm telling you, there's more intrigue with Jacob Fatu than there is Solo Sikoa.
I get everything with Jacob. I get everything with him, but it's just I saw Umaga, man. I thought Umaga was more powerful in the ring. Of course, I felt like he's a bigger guy. But
the thing was there was a report that was out before Jacob Fatu officially joined, where they were considering signing him and putting him with the group, but there was that fear that he was going to overshadow.
Outshine him, yeah.
And that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Definitely see it.
That's exactly what he's doing though. Outshining the hell out of it.
I told you what happened with Solo. Nobody likes the red shirt. Nobody liked that. That's what it
was. It was the Paul Bearer shirt. It wasn't working.
Solo ain't it, man. He's
still, I don't know. It's I get he's young, and maybe they kind of skyrocketed him just a bit, but then bringing everybody else, and I think a lot of people saw what Jacob Fatu can do outside of WWE, and then started doing it in WWE. You're like, holy shit, I can move. And you're like, maybe we should see him in a bigger position,
Yeah, but Jacob Fatu, he's going to be. Hopefully he's healed. Hopefully he's all right. Especially with that injury.
Did you guys see the news about that injury? Supposedly he is. He did get banged up, but they want to keep him away from Roman.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's what they don't want them to be face to face yet.
I hope that's right, because if it is, that is definitely the best thing to do. You do not want those when those two finally collide. Yeah, that has to be a huge moment. That has to mean something.
Man, the tribal chief is going to put him down, man. I'm not.
It has to mean something.
I'm not wasting my time with that. The tribal chief's going to put him down.
Why are you hating on Jacob, man?
Yo, bro. Well, what is it about Jacob Fatu that's just it's not he's not clicking for you?
Again, I've seen Umaga. I think Umaga's better. That's all I'm saying. I've seen
his
Umaga.
criminal background
they're
doesn't
different.
I've seen Umaga destroy the ring at the Royal Rumble. Like I've seen him go crazy. Like I've seen Umaga.
Did you see him do a moonsault?
Did Umaga do a moonsault?
No, he did not.
No, he did not.
He did a splash. That was it.
Yeah, he used to do the splash. Okay,
Or the headbutt. I think he did the flying headbutt.
The moonsault's being overused. I think I've said this a couple weeks ago. The moonsault's
You said you did say that last week.
it's too overused.
Hey, but the people that use them and know how to use them, it works well for them.
I mean, Tiffany Stratton, the
Eos guy,
I mean,
Jacob Fatu now. Like, come on now.
There's mad people using it, but it is what it is. Another person I like, returning Nia Jax. I've loved her work since she's come back and just been a brute, and now she's the champion. I loved her kind of redemption story, right? We talked about it. Bailey has been one of my favorites. Io Sky's another one of my favorites. Asuka's on the shelf, unfortunately, but just shout out to the women. Bianca and Jade building. Trying to build the women's tag team division. So.
They need to split up Bianca and Jade. They should be on separate.
I don't think Jade's ready.
Yeah, that's probably
I have
why
a little more confidence in her now.
Finally, about time, Lewis. Thank you.
Hey, she hasn't had any bad botches. I mean, come on, those first two PLEs were rough.
Yeah.
The ropes were loose, Lewis. That's not her fault.
Yeah, the ropes.
Growing pains. Remember, she made her
too hot in France.
Growing pains.
Too hot in France. The ropes
her first official match was at WrestleMania.
AJ Styles using fine.
I know.
Hey, Damian Priest slipped too. Okay, all right. Let's just.
You're right. I give you that.
Hey, let's not beat up on Jade. Okay. Let's protect Jade at all costs. Yes, but let's keep moving on here. Let's get into wrestlers on the rise, guys that we feel like are going to take the next step and be in the upper echelon of their sport. It doesn't necessarily need to be the main event. Person that can go into the mid card, a person that just needs to be given an opportunity. Wrestlers on the rise, in your guys' opinion.
Tsunami. All you gotta say, get the Michael Cole clip just over and over and over and over. I'm definitely a high on Bronson Reed. I'm glad that he's finally getting some shine and making his mark. Obviously, Braun Breaker as well. Nasty in the ring, speed, power, everything.
It's crazy how fast he is. I know we talked about him earlier. But it's crazy how fast. It's insane.
I am
literally had that shit shaking.
I am hopeful for Carmelo Hayes. I hope his size isn't used against him.
It won't be.
I mean, that's not always a huge factor because other people have done it, but I hope they utilize him well because he was really great in NXT. I don't know if maybe he needs to tweak his character a little bit or whatever. Or
I think having him come up as a heel wasn't the right move.
I mean,
I don't think that helped him.
I mean, you don't think he did his best work in NXT as a heel? I think he did.
No, I don't.
It's tough because I think he can do both.
Yeah,
but I think he's just one. I don't want to see him in that Ricochet role. I don't want him put into that role. I don't want him. No. He's more talented than that. So that's one thing. Two, he's been feuding with Trick Williams all this time, and we never, even though Trick got the win, we really never saw the ending to that. We felt like there was more to that. So I feel like that's something with his character, but he's definitely trying to figure out. They had him lose to Andrade twice, so I'm like, I don't know what they're trying to tweak, if they need to tweak something and find something to do with him. But I do think his style isn't heel, and I think that's something. He's more, his style is more of a babyface style in the ring. So definitely, I can see that.
All right, so one guy. All right, so the guy I'm thinking of. You guys just mentioned him, Trick Williams. Now we're talking about on the rise. I mean, he has the look, definitely has the charisma, has the entrance in the music, has the crowd participation.
He's everything to be at a WrestleMania. That entrance at a WrestleMania would be crazy.
He's at WrestleMania. No, that entrance in the Rumble. If he's a surprise entrance in the Rumble, as soon as they hear that Trick, especially if they're in the stadium, Oh, it's gonna be impressive.
But he has to have Booker T on commentary for it to work.
I mean, Booker T, he does
have Booker T on the
add a
mic,
lot
man.
to it. So definitely
Just
I
have
will
Booker
say
T on the
though,
mic.
Trick Williams has the look. He has everything. But some of his matches, I feel like he's still a little green. Like he still kind of uses a lot of the same moves. He does a lot of the same. I feel like if he upped his in-ring skills just a bit,
I think that's why they took the NXT title off of him, because I think they realized that, like, okay, he has the charisma, but he's not all the way there yet in the ring. And plus, they kind of rushed it on him in the first place, because remember, Dragunov was champion, but he was going to be drafted, so they kind of had to get the title off of him quick. So Trick was like the natural next person, and like he didn't really get like that moment. It was kind of rushed just to get Dragunov off the roster.
Yeah.
So eventually, hopefully, he's in ring work improves. So that's literally the only thing that's holding them back.
Yeah.
Another guy on NXT who I'm a personal fan of is Javon Evans, the 20-year-old young OG with the that guy.
In that fatal 4-way match, I was the most impressed by him.
Now he was the MVP. He was the MVP of that match. He's another guy. I mean, I think on NXT they've been doing like weekly vignettes of him to get the so people can like learn about him and learn about his background and everything. He's gonna be another guy where the only thing that's gonna hold him back is his mic skills, because Daniel, I'm telling you, he talks like someone that you're playing pickup ball with at the YMCA. that's literally how he sounds. Like one of these kids.
Are you trying to play 50?
Exactly. Yeah, he sounds like one of them kids that you're trying to play pickup ball with. Mm-hmm. So that's literally his mic skills are the only thing that's going to hold him back. But other than that, yeah, he's coming. And then one more guy, Lexis King.
Really?
He has the look. I don't know about in-ring work.
He's missing the name is what he's missing.
You don't like the name? You don't like the name Lexis King?
No, I don't like the name.
Brian Pillman's son.
No, we don't need Brian Pillman Jr. We don't want that name.
Just bring back the loose cannon. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's sitting right there. Like, we can bring it back.
Because the reason why I say Lexis King is because when you look at how he was booked in AEW compared to now, it's a complete 180. AEW was literally just trying to make him his son's father. Literally, he was just trying to make him his father again. Put him in the tag team called the Varsity Blondes.
Yeah.
The Hollywood Blondes. I think literally was just trying to make him his dad again. And at least over here in NXT, they're trying to make him a completely different person. The entrance with him coming out in the throne, like, I mean,
it's different. Yeah, they gave him a character. I give him that. Be Brian Pillman. Be Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, we can write a better story. I'm surprised, Brian, you didn't say one guy that has been tearing it up and who just put down Otis last night.
I was
Femi. I'm surprised you didn't say that guy. This guy has come out of nowhere, and every single time I watch him, I'm like, where did they get this guy? Literally, he is just a different level, fast, already better than most people. He can be on the main roster. That's how I look at him. Like, he can be on the main roster already. He's that good. Good size.
Is his accent authentic though?
No, it is. Just go on his Instagram. It is.
Where is he actually from?
To be determined.
I don't even know. I don't even know where exactly. Supposedly it's authentic.
Here we go. Where is he from? Obafemi is from. He's actually from Nigeria. So
okay. So he's not the Apollo Crews fake.
Don't
bring that up. The Nigerian warrior within me, like no.
Dark times, man. But Obafemi is definitely one of those guys. Yeah, man. I'm trying to think. Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka, those women down in NXT tearing it up. Roxanne Perez.
Her move is dirty. That flip cutter thing that she does. That move is innovative.
Roxanne Perez, people have been saying she should be on the main roster. Even they were saying that she shouldn't have been in NXT.
I think her mic skills hold her back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's another young one too. So yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. But it's like her
Oh, see,
Her
wrestling.
mic skills need some work.
Yeah.
See, the thing with her, she's not convincing as a heel at all. Like I'm watching her trying to sound like tough and stuff, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, you look too innocent. Like you look too cute and innocent to be sounding this tough. Like no, like
She doesn't have the.
I can't.
She doesn't have.
I can't get behind her as a heel. I'm just like, yo, you look too innocent. Like no,
She doesn't have the AJ Lee conniving, sinister type thing to her. She doesn't have that yet. So building that. Let's continue moving on. Wrestlers who deserve a shot. Anyone you guys thinking about the guys that should just be given a chance to shine on the next level?
I got one that it's been bugging me for forever.
It's not Joe Hendry, is it?
No, it's not Joe Hendry. Give Montez Ford a singles push. For the love of God. Give Montez Ford a singles push. He needs it.
Yeah.
He would kill it.
I've been saying it forever. He's being wasted in the Street Profits. I'm sorry. I love the Street Profits, but they never done anything. I think they've won the tag team titles once, maybe.
Twice. Maybe. I don't know.
Let me see. But yeah, keep going about Montez Ford because we've been talking about Montez Ford for
his in-ring ability he's an incredible wrestler. He's got the character. It's just give him the push.
Yeah.
Please. Drop
We'll start the hashtag.
Yeah, they won the tag team titles twice. But yeah, Montez Ford, especially with that Elimination Chamber performance where I thought he was going to get that push.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
See that tag team Elimination Chamber. They didn't bring that one back.
I'm like, they got to build up that tag team. Do something with the Street Profits. Like, you're wasting Montez Ford.
They need to split them up. That's a group that I wouldn't mind a heel turn. Like, just
they were supposed to be.
Exactly. All right. So Ryan, you mentioned Montez Ford. I'm gonna mention somebody else that we actually just mentioned in a prior topic. Karrion Kross, man.
Yep.
If anybody deserves a shot, but in fact, not even does he deserve a shot, he deserves to be repackaged entirely. Like the fact that I don't know if it's that people still have a bad taste in his mouth from Vince's booking. I don't know what it is. It's just like what is literally keeping him from being that dominant force that he was in NXT. Like he still has Scarlett, he still has the entrance, he still has the mystique and everything about him. It's just like what is it that the kid is pulling the trigger on him again?
Are you gonna say the same thing, Dan? Is it the hair? I was gonna say it's
maybe he needs to shave his head, but I'm thinking he's never really been in a big feud outside NXT.
He had that one feud with Drew.
Yeah, when he came back, he was with Drew.
Strap match.
Like he really hasn't been able to put anything together. I know he was trying to go after Rey Mysterio for a little bit when he first came up.
Yeah,
it's Xavier Woods, even though I think that could go somewhere. But it's like, does he really need to be feuding with Xavier Woods if he's the leader of this new group? He shouldn't be in the mid card if that's the question. Like going after somebody.
And that's the thing. The group he has right now, they're so big and strong. They should easily be like the new Judgment Day and just taking everybody.
Yeah,
easily.
And especially with the new Judgment Day, we're all not a fan of. Yeah, they should definitely
take them all out.
Dominating the tag division, not Finn and JD or Carlito or whatever variation they're going to use. But especially with the Authors of Pain, especially with that group when they were in NXT, killing everybody, literally killing everybody with the power bomb. They killed DIY. They killed them. I'll never forget that. I was like, these guys are getting destroyed. But
I know, didn't they win like the ladder match or whatever? Yeah, it was
it was a ladder match. Yeah, I think they lost that ladder match, and I think that's what started the Tommaso Ciampa turn. Like he turned on Gargano right after that, I think.
Yeah.
That whole group, just give them a shot because they really been on a go. I'm trying to think. Who's a wrestler that deserves a shot?
Also, probably on the rise, though, maybe doesn't need a shot. Well, probably could use a shot. Is I really like Ilya Dragunov. I'm not.
I was just thinking about him.
And see, that's the thing. Like he's on the same stature of like Carmelo Hayes, but like he just looks so strong. I don't know if I've said it since the first time I saw him. It looks like he's been a pop a vessel in his neck or something because he always looks like he's
Pete Dunne syndrome.
so strong, but it looks so crazy in the ring, and I'm like, this guy's a beast. Like, definitely push him or get him into like a mid card like soon, or bring him to SmackDown. I don't know what it is, but
eventually he's gonna have a title match with Gunther, and when that match happens,
that's
it's probably gonna be a banger. It's probably gonna be match of the year.
oof. That's what I want to see.
Probably going to be on Raw.
No, and it's probably going to be. And for this, they need to give them like 30 minutes, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Main event, give them 30 minutes and just let them go. They'll beat the shit out of each other.
Now that you mentioned that guy, I want to say Ludwig Kaiser. I've been
Really?
interested. I've been interested to see what he's going to do, because if he's been in that group Imperium for so long, and it's like, is he going to be able to take that next mid card step? And they've been kind of doing. I know he got hurt a little bit, but they have been showcasing him away from Gunther, or showcasing Gunther on his own mainly. And it's just like, what are they going to do with Ludwig Kaiser? That's a guy.
Did you guys see that Vinci package?
Oh
I
my
was
god!
just about to ask about that. What you guys think about that? Because they're literally
Who
going back to the
cares?
character he was in NXT 2.0
Oh man, that reminded
gave a
me of like
about that
Vince
video.
McMahon era.
Yeah,
Like,
that's 2.0. Yeah, that's Vince's character. That's Vince's character.
You guys don't think he's back, do you?
No,
They gave Vince a small corner of the creative, like a small.
Say, hey, you can take this one guy.
like, give us a video package. All right, I got it.
Nah, like that's just crazy, man. But it's like, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. There's been some booking stuff where I'm just like, what's going on here? But let's hope that it continues to go well. Let's continue moving on here. Wrestlers who we think should take a step back, and I don't know if you guys have given this a lot of thought, but there's one guy that's been burning in the side of my brain with this one, and I want to say it. And we all love him. He's a legend.
Don't say it.
Multiple time champion.
Don't say it.
Multiple promotions.
Do not. I already.
Rock artists. Chris
Yo,
Jericho.
come on, man. No.
It's time.
No, not him. No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say R-Truth.
No, Chris Jericho. Like the learning tree, whatever.
Oh,
he's
come
doing.
on.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The learning tree is bad.
I'm not the best in
I'm
shape.
not.
Chris Jericho.
It's supposed to be bad.
We've accepted the out of shape Jericho for some time. It's time, man. Like it's
No.
Hey, can you do a lion salt? All right. If you can't do it, you can't say nothing about him being
A lion salt?
This is why. This is why I'm gonna disagree with you. And this is according to Jericho himself, because he has these numbers to back it up. People are still interested in Chris Jericho. When Chris Jericho's on the screen, the ratings are still up for AEW, whatever the highest point for them is. So
They're just tuning in for
Jericho
the
still
song.
draws interest.
Is that does that say more about Chris Jericho? Or does that say the state of AEW?
I mean, he still draws interest.
Oh man,
Chris Jericho. No, it's not talking Jericho yet. Now
I'm not
there have
saying
been times where you've seen them and then you're like, yeah, maybe it might be time. But the fact that he still continues to reinvent himself, like the fact that he's going around saying hi guys and doing all this corny stuff, but yet people are still popping for it and laughing at it. So Chris Jericho is still Chris Jericho. So
No,
it's not time yet. Nope, not.
Yeah, for once, I'm thinking I'm actually gonna agree with Daniel, because this is probably a rare first, but yeah, Chris Jericho, he's so established and he's been around so long. He doesn't need to be on TV week to week. And I'm sorry, when I heard this whole learning tree crap, I was like, I get it's like he's doing it on purpose, but it's not. Even the thing he was doing before this, the Wizard, was freaking stupid. He was just like blowing the fire in people's faces.
Yeah, throwing fire in people's faces. Yeah, he's a wizard.
That was terrible. Like, why? No. Like, come on now. And then he wants to go back to Chris Jericho for matches, and I was like,
the original. That's the original. That's how it started. The Lionheart.
The issue, you want to know the issue with Chris Jericho? He never went away.
Exactly. That's how damn good he is. He don't need to go away.
Yeah.
He needs to go away a little bit.
Like, you take a sabbatical. It's okay. Take a couple months off. It's all right. It's all right. Your spot is still going to be here. But I think you guys think another wrestler that should just take a step back at this moment.
All right. Yeah, because I need to really think about this.
I'm ready for Ray to retire.
Ray?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, you'll get emotional about that, Lewis, right? Yeah.
Not emotional, but hey, the man still moves like he used to. I don't see him.
Still puts on pretty good matches and stuff. But like, bro,
yeah,
it's time.
I don't think he needs to. I don't know. I don't think he needs to be a part. Like the LWO is just not a group anymore. So I think they just need to scrap that like entirely. Like that for me is like just get rid of that. Just let them be a tag team. Let Zelina be her own thing. LWO should
manager. He needs to be a manager. He needs to be a manager of the LWO.
You know what? You know what I was thinking? I was like, what happened to Dragon Lee? I was like, we haven't seen him in
we haven't seen him on for a little bit. I can only hope he's hurt because he's somebody that you need to be featuring every week.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Lee. I totally forgot about Dragon Lee.
But it is funny how everybody that somewhat teamed with Ray ended up turning on him.
Everybody that's teamed with him is turned on.
Santos, Carlito, Dom, obviously, it's like I feel like it would have been a matter of time before Dragon Lee just turned on him and became like the evil luchador or whatever. So
okay. I think I thought of somebody, and he's still being used in AEW. As a matter of fact, he's actually a Ring of Honor six-man champion now.
Hang on, Christian.
No, not Christian. Goldust, Dustin Rhodes. he's still going now. Like at this point, for me, even though he's kind of like on the same level as Ray, as far as like he's still putting on
good matches.
Yeah.
Good matches. But like at this point, dude, like if I'm gonna see you now, I don't want to see you down there doing that. Like you need to be up in the big leagues doing that stuff. Like he never looked that good in WWE the way he looks right now in AEW. You never saw him doing fucking Code Reds and doing all these moves and stuff. It's like I want to see him doing it on a bigger stage. Like he's down there, looks good, but I just want to see him do it there. And like one final program with Cody, similar to the match that they had at Double or Nothing. That bloody.
You want Dustin Reynolds as a heel?
He wasn't the heel in that feud. As a matter of fact, Cody was the heel in that shit.
True. That is true. Mm-hmm. Any other wrestlers you guys think should take a step back?
Lewis. I'm surprised you actually didn't say this. I'm surprised you didn't say Natalya.
Oh, please.
She's not even on TV.
Yeah, they're on. Exactly. That's why I didn't even bring her up.
How do we clamor? Actually, Daniel, it was you. You clamored for her to get a new contract, for her to get re-signed. And she got re-signed, and we haven't seen her since.
She's probably a coach right now. She's probably helping the youths. That's what she's doing.
That's exactly what she should be doing.
Yeah.
All she needs to do.
Yeah.
All right. We're not going to get on a ragtag Natalya right now, so let's continue to move on. Favorite random wrestling thing today, and I was thinking about this because it's just random wrestling because it always shows up in our algorithms and on socials and stuff like that. So I'll go first. I found WWE Vault on YouTube, and it's just a bunch of WWE matches, and I think I shared one in the chat. From SummerSlam, there was CM Punk and Jeff Hardy. There was Steve Austin and Undertaker, and there was another one, Rock and Triple H, the ladder match at SummerSlam '98. So that's one of the random things for me. Just going in the random YouTube algorithm, but there's a channel on YouTube called WWE Vault, and it's just a bunch of old matches. So definitely one of the things, random things that I stumbled across in my YouTube algorithm.
I saw a clip today where it was like, I mean, we've already been aware of this, but like all our wrestlers from our generation are legit, like basically about to retire. You know, you got the end of John Cena, CM Punk towards the end of his career, Randy Orton, you know, end of his career. You know, it's like all these greats. You know, even though we all obviously grew up with like the Steve Austins and the Rock, but now to see the next generation as well, you know, and seeing all this new talent. So that's what I saw today that I like kind of stuck with me. I was like, damn, everybody's like probably next couple of years be retiring soon, and we're not going to see them like we used to anymore. Even though we don't see like John Cena or you know like that anymore. But like,
I just want to point out that Brian.
And,
I just want to point out Brian thinks Chris Jericho is still acceptable, but
he's still acceptable, bro. The demo god, the champion, the wizard. Come on.
He should have stuck with Le Champion. That was actually really good. I actually like Le Champion.
And he puts people over. Orange Cassidy got to a whole nother level because of Chris Jericho. Let's remember that.
All right, you're going really hard for this, Brian.
I'm just saying.
the orange mimosa match, is that what you're?
Hey, look, to be fair, that was during the pandemic. So I'm just saying.
Pandemic wrestling.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys? Any random wrestling thing?
So I'm a huge like a documentary person. Whether it's 30 for 30 on ESPN or whether it's Hulu documentary, Netflix. I'm a huge documentary guy. So the A&E documentaries that WWE does, yeah, those are actually very good. I actually got caught up a couple of days ago on some of those. I watched the one on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which I thought was very impressive. Yeah, because not a lot of people know a lot of his career outside of the match with Macho Man and the series of matches he had in WCW with Ric Flair. So you got to hear a lot more about him. They did one on ECW, which I know WWE has done like a shit ton of ECW documentaries, but to actually see like other perspectives, you know, it's always good to watch. And it's like, you know, A&E, yeah, they got a good thing going with WWE, and so it's like so pretty soon they're pretty much gonna do a documentary about everybody. I mean, because it's like because they're very good. I mean, I honestly think the best one that they did was the one that they did on Roman Reigns that Paul Heyman actually directed.
Oh yeah,
that was a really good one. I actually wanted to watch the Mark Henry one, but I don't.
Yeah, that's the one I've been hearing.
That's the one I'm on next. The Mark Henry.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
Yeah,
I know they did. Who am I thinking? No, you guys can go because I was thinking about the next one.
I was gonna say the same. The documentaries they're doing is awesome. But they're just all the behind the scenes stuff in general that they've been doing, and all that stuff is big into that stuff these days.
They did one with Damian Priest recently, right? WWE.
Yeah.
Right?
That's another one I need to.
That's a really good one too.
They're getting into WWE's really getting into their bag with these 24/7 series where they're just following people around and stuff like that. It's like, how do you guys catch all this stuff?
Yeah,
and then produce wrestling, and then just carry it on. But nah, it's just great, especially with the documentaries, the A&E documentaries. I've seen a couple. Dark Side of the Ring, of course, is another one that you always want to check out and stuff like that. But it's just like those documentaries where they really start showing what the hell's actually going on, especially from different time periods where there wasn't as much social media, as many. It's always just word of mouth, but to actually get video representation of it and get that on film is just incredible to see. So kudos to WWE for doing that.
Yeah, I don't know why people. Actually, a lot of people aren't like fans of Dark Side of the Ring, and they say it's like, oh, it's too negative. I'm like, the name of the show is Dark Side of the Ring. Like, it's supposed to be negative.
You know what you're getting into before you watch it.
Exactly. I know it's in the title, Dark Side of the Ring. Like, what the fuck?
Now the one that still gets me, New Jack. That's probably scary.
That episode is crazy.
That one, and the one that they did on Nick Gage. That one, the death match one.
Pizza cutter.
Yeah, the pizza cutter. Yeah.
Like I thought Tommy Dreamer was doing some shit, and then I see Nick Gage, and I'm just like,
yo, The fact that he actually said in the documentary that ECW guys were telling us to settle down, I'm like, really?
No, that's crazy, man. No, that's crazy. But no, just some random things that I thought about in wrestling today. But yeah, man, that will do it for this show, man. Yeah, just in the state of wrestling, man. Just trying to pick your guys' minds and see what's going on. But Ryan, thank you for joining us, man. It's been great having you on the show, man. Looking to have you again on, of course. But that will do it for this episode, man. Thank you guys for joining us. And remember, always kick out on 2. And until next time.